we have here the Joshua Lee. Josh, thank you very much for joining Rebelthon to raise money for UNICEF and their effort to fight COVID-19 virus. So thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me. I mean, it's amazing stuff that all the Rebel Alliance do. So I'm really happy to do my bit in this, what you're up to under the circumstances. It's great.
Thank you. So first of all, I would like to ask what the Star Wars mean for you. How it was when you first met this franchise.
Well, I've got a notoriously bad memory, actually. So I think my the thing I really remember is Return of the Jedi. I think was my Star Wars. That was, I think I went to Star Wars, to New Hope and Empire, but Return of the Jedi was the one that really got to me, and it's still probably my favourite, I think. But the thing that I really remember was I got the collector's edition, the sort of special edition magazine, collector's edition, I think it was called. And in that there was, I think it was in that there were these. It was all how the effects had been done. And so the thing that I really, really remember is just when the ATST is in the Ewok battle and the logs come in and crush the ATST, and the fact that they electroplated a version of the ATST, and then they filled the logs with lead, and they filmed it sort of crush, and I think there was an explosion as well. There's a model, and as a kid, that was just, I mean, that blew my mind. You plated it, and then you filled them. I couldn't believe that could be done, and so that, I think, was when I thought, well, that's what I had no idea how to do it or how it would ever happen, but I was just enamored with that idea that you could make these things and that someone did that, somebody somewhere did that. And so this idea of ILM and working in effects was sort of seeded then, I think. So that really is probably my first proper memory of Star Wars, is actually thinking about how it was made. And I mean, I'd never have dreamt, if you could go back in time and tell that, geeky kid all that Lego was worth playing with and all that, that was the thing really. It was, that really is stuck with that magazine actually.
That's kind of amazing. So yeah. Do you think it somehow inspired you for your work, which are you doing today, like a senior animatronic designer?
Yeah, well, that sounds very grand, doesn't it? Senior animatronic designer.
Yeah.
And nobody really knows what that means. And you'll probably, you might ask me what it means, but yeah, it did. Like I say, I had no idea how to do it, and it was pre-internet, and there wasn't. I discovered Cinefex much later, a bit too late, really. So it was. I just had no idea how to get into the industry. Went to art school and sort of fell into it, really. But really, looking back, it sort of seems like there's nothing else I can do. I have no, there is no way I can do anything else. As so it's a very good fit. It's an amazing job.
Yeah.
Because not only do you sort of design everything, and then you make it, and then you go on set as well, and then you go on location, and so you get this incredible experience, meet all these very clever people. So it is I am aware that I'm very lucky to have the job I do. So it's good.
So what do you like the most? The time in the workshop or time on the set? Because they are probably two separate type of the work, right?
Yeah, they're very different. And the time that you spend on set is it's very high pressure, and like I say, very clever people. The directors of these movies are the brightest, most creative people in the world. Why would they use anyone else? So they've always have, they're smart, they have great ideas, strong sense of design, and also it's very expensive to make Star Wars movies. It's incredibly expensive. So there's hundreds of people, all the kit, all the the locations, everything, and so it is a very high pressure environment, and it can be very good fun, but you just don't want to hold them up. You want the work to be good. You want it to work well, look good, have character, perform well, not break down. And actually, what happens is that drives what you do in the workshop. So when you're in the workshop and you're designing, you're thinking all the time about what it's going to be like on set. How will that work? What will happen? Will that fail? Will sand get into this mechanism? Will, do I need a backup? And so I think the bit that I enjoy most is actually the design, because that's sort of like, it's like these clever people have given you this puzzle, this really difficult puzzle. It's never been done before. And they want, a spherical robot or a one-wheel robot or, whatever the new one is. So they give you this thing, and you've got to figure out how to make it mechanically, which is the animatronic part. And so, we work with concept artists. So I work for Neil Scanlon. So Neil Scanlon puts together this amazing team of concept artists, sculptors, mold makers, fabricators, painters, and we all sort of work together to sort of build up this incredible thing that then goes on set, is taken over by the puppeteers on set, and then that whole sort of filmmaking process begins. So there's sort of two stages, and often we're building things during the shoot as well, because we're not needed every day on a film set. So often we're sort of running back to the workshop and making the next thing that's needed in 4 weeks' time, while trying to fit in the filming of the thing that we spent the last 3 months doing. So it's really dynamic. It's really good fun. It's very creative, and I enjoy the puzzle of it all. Really, just it's like a problem that has to be solved every time.
So that means you are enjoying the challenges when someone can out say, we need to have this to be like this on the set, and you are like, oh my God, how I will do it, or if it's even possible.
Yeah, and I am a bit, I sort of, the harder it is, you sort of think, oh no, but really deep down you go, no, yeah, I can really get my teeth into this one. And I've even like with BB-8, there we did it in a certain way for the filming, but then it was like, well, we must be able to do this for real, without sort of little, puppet rods or whatever. And so that was just, I suggested that. So I'm my own worst enemy, because I sort of suggested to Neil, why don't we do this? And actually that became this huge challenge. So I do enjoy a difficult mechanical performance problem. I just enjoy solving those problems.
Because you work on many franchises, like Jurassic World, you did work on the Prometheus, that means Alien franchise. You work on the Harry Potter as well. It's when you compare it to the Star Wars franchise, it's less or more challenging? I mean,
I think I had sort of different experiences on each one, really, because I've sort of become more, senior as it's gone on. So I probably get more responsibility now, and I'm probably, whereas before I was a bit more junior, and I worked on Harry Potter for about 6 years. We did some amazing work for Nick Dubman on that, and then met Neil and did Prometheus for Neil. The Jurassic World stuff, that was for Neil as well, and they're all different, really. So dinosaurs have different challenges to droids, certainly. And the style is different as well. So the style of monsters that you would make for Harry Potter is very different to the style that you do for Star Wars. So I think I've obviously I've enjoyed them all. My favourite is Star Wars, though. I mean, I mean, I know I'm doing this, but it really is. And also, I've the other thing is in the Star Wars films. I mean, I suppose in Jurassic, these dinosaurs all are kind of at least the stars of the show, but in the Star Wars films, the droids especially are the heart of, partly the heart of the film. Really, they sort of really help carry the story, and you can identify with them and everything. So to get to do one of those characters, especially BB-8, I mean, there's nothing like it. There's no, that's a once in a lifetime opportunity, really. So I have had an amazing time on the Star Wars franchise.
That's great, because when we are speaking about the Star Wars, you mentioned BB-8. There is as well known your work on the Dio from the last movie. Yeah. So if I would ask you, I know it is a very hard question for any animatronic designer or the prop builder. What's your most favorite, or what prop or the work you are most proud of on the Star Wars?
Yeah, I think so. We did an animatronic version of Maz for episode 9, and that was amazing, actually. So we did a kind of new way, and it was JJ's idea. This is what's so amazing. This wasn't even Neil thinking of this. It came straight from JJ. What if we could make an animatronic puppet that could be performed directly by someone wearing a suit? So whatever the puppet did, the animatronic would copy. And that was his idea. That was his suggestion, and that was amazing technically to try and pull off. So I did the mechanics, and Matt Denton did the suit, and sort of did the pipeline through from the sensor suit that Claire the Puppeteer wore, and that was incredible to see. So whatever she did, whatever subtlety of movement she did, the animatronic just copied it exactly. And you couldn't really have puppeteered that as well. All the little nuances of movement, I don't think you could have got in any other way, really. So I'm really proud of Maz. In terms of the whole experience, it has to be BB-8, really, because it was just amazing. That it was like the franchise was getting going again. It's the most anticipated secret. I kept that thing secret for years. And just the kind of rock and roll kind of version. Like the shoot was just amazing. Like the first day of filming for everyone was in the desert. It was just outrageous. There was 1,000 people on set just trying to keep us from dehydrating, let alone making a film. It was insane. So to bring that quite major character to the film set in those circumstances, with it being John and Daisy, and seeing seeing their kind of journey as well. So that whole kind of experience, and that makes BB-8 my favourite, really, because it just can't be surpassed. Really. I mean, I do have other, I've got other fond memories of, like, there's some characters where there's quite a few of us in the animatronic department. Gustav Hugen, he sort of runs the animatronic department. He's like a genius at building animatronic heads. And there's other projects where we sort of all come together, and especially if it's further down in the shoot. So I really like Babu Frick, because we all worked on that, and we all sort of brought it together in a sort of seemingly impossible time. And I've got very fond memories of filming Madame Proxima, because that was insane as well, because I built the rig that sort of pulled her out of the water, which is all painted out. ILM, painted that all out, and And but it was I spent 2 weeks in sort of bobbing about in a swimming pool with my friend Steve, so that I've got like lots of different, it's difficult to say what would be my favorite. I've got lots of amazing memories of it all, but I think it has to be BB-8 really, doesn't it?
Yeah. A lot of people say that BB-8 is the heart of the new trilogy. I mean,
yeah.
the sequel one. Yeah.
And I think that's true. I think because there's something about the droids that you can identify with, and I don't know whether it's a childhood thing or something. It's very clever how they're used, and they're funny as well. So to get to do all that, you're onto a winner, aren't you? It's always going to be good.
Even me, I remember first time seeing BB-8. It was in the teaser for The Force Awakens when he's just rolling.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, what is it? What is it? And when I saw the version during the, I think it was celebration in Anaheim, when BB-8 1-to-1 roll on the stage, it was something. I believe you see it as well.
Yeah, well, no, because what happened with that was, I didn't really know anything about the whole, I'd had my Star Wars, my personal kind of Star Wars thing going on, but to be honest, I didn't know about the conventions and the builders clubs and all things like that. And they, Lee Towersey, who I think is going to be doing something, he was brought in from the builders club to do R2, which I was going to originally do, and so I didn't know about all that, and then it was during the filming that I was asking Lee about it. He told me about all the conventions and about the doing appearances, and maybe sometimes doing appearances at the premieres and stuff like that. And so during the filming, once it kind of calmed down and we sort of settled in and we were getting the shots, I thought, well, I'd like to see all that, and they're probably going to want something to show. We haven't really got a version that we can roll down the red carpet. So that's when I went to, and I learned a lot from all the, Lee and all the sort of cosplayers and the fan makers. I've learned a lot from them. That's been a really good thing about the last 6 years, actually. So I went to Neil, and we sort of figured out in my head, I've sort of been, in downtime on set, been figuring out how this might work mechanically. And he sort of managed to, pull some strings and, find some money. And then they gave me a bit of money to make it, and because we didn't know whether it would work, genuinely didn't know whether it was going to work. And the thing about the red carpet is it barely works. It is always on the edge of disaster, that thing. So so we teamed up with Matt Denton, and he did all the control system, did an amazing job of that. And then we managed, because I think a lot of people thought that it was CGI, especially from the teaser trailer.
Yeah.
So that was an incredible moment to go to the, so I finally got to go to Celebration. So that worked. And then to roll out and just hear the crowd, that it felt like we'd pulled off this magic trick, and that everyone couldn't believe it. And from that, we ended up going to the premieres, and we flew all over the world. We were on a rooftop in Shanghai with JJ and the cast. We had this sort of incredible time on the promotion. So, and that was totally on purpose. I totally tried to get on that gig, so it worked.
And how was the feeling? Because I saw you during the premiere of the Rise of the Skywalker in the London, and you was as well driving the droid there. I'm not sure. I think it was Dio, right? I'm not sure right now.
So Matt. So I'm like the backroom guy. So I sort of do the mechanics, and on set, what I'll do is I'll keep them running, and I'll sort of, you know, often, to be honest, I'll be getting BB-8 into shot, and then you sort of have to dive behind a sand dune or a bit of space freighter or something. So I don't puppeteer very much, and but going out with, I really wanted to start doing that. So Matt puppeteers BB-8, and I do DO. So I had to learn how to control my nerves. You know, so you know, and say no, DO won't drive off the stage. It won't drive off the stage. You know, and so I had. So in order to kind of complete that whole experience, I thought I needed to try and control the nerves, do those big, because they're live. You know, they're live. And one of the events we did in LA for Rise of Skywalker was, you know, there's Steven Spielberg in the front row watching. You know, can you imagine if you mess that up? You know, so it is. It's been really, yeah, it's been great. It's been a roller coaster. It's been fantastic.
There is probably one of the last questions.
Yeah.
After you did the Star Wars, it somehow changed your view on the industry, or change your way of life, or if bring another more opportunities for your as well professional or personal life?
Well, yeah, I mean, it has, like, the amount we've been away, and I've taken my family quite a lot on trips to, so we've been to Chicago and China and Japan and Anaheim, and, you know, LA a few times, San Francisco. So I've had this incredible time from it, I think, and that a lot of that is to do with the fans. And like I said, I didn't know anything about that. And so that has been the most amazing thing, really. You know, the celebration was such an eye opener, and, you know, and all the work that all the, you know, the Rebel Legion do and everything, and dressing up, and the costumes they make, and the little girl with the roll along BB-8 celebration, you know, just all those things. That is what has changed the most. I knew nothing about that, actually. And so that's been a real pleasure to get to know it. And I mean, it's a crazy world you guys live in. You know, like the tattooing, I didn't anticipate. I really didn't anticipate the tattoo parlors celebration. But you know, that's been really fun.
You was the guest as well during the last Star Wars celebration in the Chicago, as you mentioned. Mm-hmm. You was doing the photo shoots and autograph sessions. Do you have some nice memory or some nice moment you can recollect from the time there?
I can recollect how few photo opportunities were required of me, so there's no problem there. Again, it's just you know, it's just, I mean, come on, I'm a prop maker, you know, I'm a geek made good, you know, so it's any of it is amazing. You know, you can't really believe it's happening, but I'll take it. It's fantastic, you know. Yeah, okay. I've loved it.
Okay, Josh. So thank you very much for your time you could share with us. Again, thank you very much for joining the Rebelthon to raise money for UNICEF and their effort to fight COVID-19. So once again, thank you. We appreciate your time, and I hope we will see you during another celebration, or maybe on another future Star Wars project as well.
Yeah, I hope so too. And good work to everyone. Thanks very much for having me.
Thank you.